there was a child covering his eyes. And the man was saying,
Ora tiriamo.
I knew you
Idake
before you
tar.
were born.
This is a
Now, the
simulation
man
game
was
set in a
hurt.
virtual world and
Igulale.
does not represent real life. Please play in
Idraga
moderation,
ಏನು
take
ಸಿಕ್ಕಂದ್ರೆ
frequent breaks, and play
So once we were
responsibly.
traveling, I brought up my beliefs with God. I told her how God did not exist and how
ಮಸ್ತ್
God should be if He ever
ಹೇಳ
told me that there was this
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಳ್ಕೊಳಣ
God
ಅಪ್ಪ ನಾನು ನಿಂಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಲ್ಲ
Jesus
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ
who
ಕಳಿಸೋ
loved us so much that He came on this earth. He sacrificed Himself for us so that we would live a life free of sin. And I
ತಿನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಬಿಟ್ಟವನ
react to this.
ತೂತೊಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ತೂತೊಳಗೆ
I had an issue.
ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆನೇ ಇರೋ ತೂತ್ ಮೇಲೆ
ತೊಳಗೆ
I had already had 4 surgeries on my
ತೂತ್
toe.
ಮೇಲೆನೇ ಇಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡ್ ತಾಕತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ
Bleed twice a week, and I would have to clean it. It was
ವಾ
infections upon infections all the time. And I was in the process of getting my toenail permanently removed.
ಈ ಟವರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಲ್ಸ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೇನಾ
And we prayed for it.
ಟೆರೆಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗು
Since that day, it has been 4 years now, and from that day till today,
ಲೌಡ ಇಲ್ದೆ ನಾನು
toe has never existed. My nail is still growing. My nail is still doing whatever it used to do, but there is no infection, there is no pain, there is no bleeding. And what I realized is I just had to and I received. Now this
No,
was
ಡಬ್ಬ
really
ಮ್ಯಾಚ್
huge
ಹಾಕೋ
for me because
ಈ ಅಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ ಕುಗ್ದಲ್ಲಿ
I was able to ask God to give me like a relationship.
Hello. Let's go.
Back then because of my toenail, and now I can wear whatever I want. In fact, I have a cupboard.
ಹಲೋ ಅಂತ ಹಲೋ
Only for my shoes.
ಗೋಟು ಕಾರ್
Has been,
TDM ಮಾಡಿ ಯಾವ್ದು
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡೈತೋ
ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಹತ್ರ
Oh my
ಅವನ
god.
ಸತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಬೆಜನಲ್ಲಿ
ನೀವು
ಅಟ್ಲೆ ಒಳಗೆ ನೇಮಸ್ ಹಚ್ಕೋತಾಮ ಹಾ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ
ಅಟ್ಲೆ ಏನು ಚೂಸ್ಕೋ ಚೂಸ್ಕೋ
end up coming over with the cake without me even mentioning it. I think it's so mindful that even the littlest of your desires, and it has been like this in every single thing that I want. I just think of it and I've always happened. So what happened next was because I was in a relationship.
This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly.
About the unnecessary relationships I had. Because I knew how much I was valued, I developed a sense of value for myself because I knew his love for me. I mean, I was the daughter of God, right? And I remember one day my boyfriend asked me if God thought he was the right guy for me. And I immediately said no. I remember going home after that and asking God why he wasn't the one for me because I had been in a relationship for 5 years then. And I asked God to give me proof. I said, Jesus, if you think he's not the one, I need proof. And a month later, this friend that I thought was a good friend, one of my cool friends, she ended up calling me and she told me that she had been flirting with my boyfriend for about a few months before that. And the reason she called me was the night before the things went a little out of hand between the two of them. Now I had received my proof by no one that for me, and I walked out of that relationship. That was a little troublesome time for me, of course, walking out of a relationship that I had been in for so long, and I had quite a few disturbed nights. I distinctly remember one of the nights when I went to sleep purely stressed. I had a dream. I was in heaven, what I assumed to be heaven because I had only the sky around me. And this pinky finger stuck down from the sky. And the finger was so huge I couldn't see anything beyond the finger. Now, pinky fingers are important to me and I realize this now as I'm saying it. It's because I always ask for anybody if I'm making a promise, it has to be a pinky promise for me. So you just see how subjective and how mindful he is of these things. But I had a pinky finger that came down from the sky and it was really huge. What he asked me was, he asked me to lay my hands on him. And I remember laying my hands on him. Now my hands were this tiny compared to the huge nail of the finger. And he said, ask whatever you want to. I asked him if he would be the one that loved me the most forever. And he said yes. No ifs, no buts, just an affirmative yes. And that itself brought such a reassurance to me that he would always be there for me. The next thing I remember asking him was if I could receive a hug. Now those huge pinky fingers suddenly shifts to another scene, and there's this man in a white robe with his face that is glowing because I can't see anything, and he hugs me. Now the important part in this is he showed me how big he is, that he could take care of all of my troubles, but he still came to me to what I was because he wanted to give me the hug that I asked for. And I remember waking up completely distressed. So this has been one of, and I've had so many such reassuring moments. Every time I've needed reassurance, he's been there. And I've had many dreams like this. I've slept really upset. I've woken up really lighthearted. One important thing that happened to me was last year.
Watch out!
I started with my blog, and starting my blog, I received a few words from him saying,
Help!
Promising me new beginnings. And I've always been criticized all my life about my weight, about
Help!
how heavy I was and how I needed to lose weight and things like that. It was really difficult for me because all my family, the friends I was close to would always criticize or make fun of me and things like that. It wasn't a nice picture to have. My blog was basically about women that are plus size being able to dress well. And a year later now, I have around 17,000, more than 17,000 people who love me for the same thing. And the people that used to criticize me about this are the ones that are telling other people that even though I'm fat, I can do things like these. What I love about this is he cannot hear anything bad said about you. If you feel bad, then he feels that is his heart for you, that's God's love for you. And he changed the entire situation around for me. He changed my whole circumstance. What was my worst insecurity is today my biggest strength. I just cannot express how much gratitude I feel that I am saved by someone this was God, you know. And it's been a beautiful journey. There was a time I was afraid of something, and I had another dream that night. In that dream, I was somewhere. It was pitch black, and I was very scared because I couldn't see anything. I couldn't hear anything. I was just walking around aimlessly and really, really scared. I suddenly heard a voice say, "What are you afraid of? I am the soil beneath your feet." And I felt the soil. He said, "I am the wind." And I felt a cool breeze blowing against my skin. In front of this magnificent view. I cannot even describe how beautiful it was. I was at the edge of a forest and there was a river flowing in front of me. There was the sun rising, there were mountains, there were birds. It was, I can still see it as I'm speaking it. And he reassured me that he was the creator of everything. And he was always going to protect me. He was always going to I had nothing to be afraid of. Guys, I think my life has changed since I met Jesus. He reassured me about never leaving me. He told me he would love me the most forever. That he would always protect me. He taught me to value myself. His love in me taught me to value myself because I am the daughter of God after all. And he taught me what real respect looks like. I cannot share my gratitude with you, but if you're watching this, it is because you're here for a reason. It changed my life, and I'm not asking you to believe me just because I'm saying it. I think you should ask yourself, you should ask God to reveal Himself to you, and be assured that He will. Thank you for watching.
Wow, Dimple. So that's an amazing testimony. I was so encouraged. I didn't know that everyone who told it has been encouraged as well. So I really want you guys, all of those who are watching, ask God to reveal Himself to you. Ask Jesus to reveal Himself to you, and please check out what He really does. We don't have a lot more videos coming up from other people who are part of the community, and exciting testimonies. So stay tuned to this channel. We're going to have another video shortly that's going to talk about Jesus, what makes him the creator of heaven and God, what he did on the cross for us, and why we get to call him God. How do we get to have a father through him? So you've got all of these questions and all of
This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly. This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly.
So I remember going to my idol that I spoke to during that time, and I stood in front of my idol and I said, you know, you see me sick and you don't do anything. And I just looked at him and I was like, you are God.
Thank you.
Why am I telling you?
No.
Help!
Now, during the 1 month that I stopped doing it,
No.
Wait. Thank you.
हेल्प करो कोई तो भी हेल्प करो
No.
भाई क्या 3 नंबर ऐसा क्या कर रहा है नूबड़े चिल्ला नहीं आता क्या तेरे को मैं तो मजाक में कर रहा था ना
Thank you.
3 नंबर भाई हेल्प कर ले भाई तू अच्छा है ना भाई प्लीज यार भाई ऐसा मत कर ले
This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly. Enemies ahead! This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly.
down, I knew that I knew that I knew that I heard somebody, and that person said, promise me. So I got up the next day in the morning, about 6:37. I sat on my bed and I said, okay. I said, Jesus, if it is really you are there, you are God, what do you mean by promise me? What are you trying to get me? Promise you what? And I had a Bible next to me. I opened the Bible, came on this verse and said, just the way it was in Genesis, it said, just the way I've been loyal and faithful to you, promise me you'll always be loyal and faithful to me and to this country that we live in. Now, when I read those words, I knew that someone spoke right into them. Like, I heard those words, and I got so scared, and I was like, oh my God, someone, Jesus, is speaking to me. All my life, I ran religion. I went to temples, I gave offerings, tokenis, religion. I went, and before that, this idol that is raised to body the Lord. So I would sit in my yoga style, and I would chant certain mantras of my religion. So when I heard God's voice and Jesus' voice, I thought, okay, I just have to change the name now. So I went, and I sat in my yoga style, pretty much like this, and I started chanting. And I thought, okay, I just need to change my mantra now. And instead of what I used to chant, I said I'm going to chant Jesus. And I sat doing that for about a couple of minutes, just chanting Jesus' name. And I was like, okay, I'm chanting your name, and nothing is happening. I'm getting bored. And I felt the Lord speak to me louder, but this time not in words, but just into my heart. And He just dropped this, and He said, even I'm getting bored. I'm not a religion. I'm your Father. Talk to me. And from that minute forth, my whole concept or mindset of what God is just changed. And I realized that He's a Father. And I was like, oh my God, I said, He just wants me to talk to Him, just the way I'm talking to you. And I remember I was sharing my mind, things that I wanted, things that I desired. And from that point on, I started getting dreams and visions of things that I hadn't even read in the Bible. I had no promises. And it was just such a magical journey for me. And I would pray every day. I stopped looking in the mirror during that time in anorexia, like if you eat a little food, you end up gaining a lot of weight. So I had this fear for food, and I remember the thing that I didn't like the way I looked. So after I had this, after Jesus, I knew that I was talking to God. I was asking Him things. I was telling Him, you died on the cross for my healing, so I should be healed. And I stopped looking in the mirror because I was like, I'm just going to look when I'm healed. And I remember that night when I had an encounter with Jesus, one thing I knew, there was so much chaos before, like people had told me all about one God. I just knew one thing, that I just knew who the creator of heaven and earth is. I knew His name, and there was such a rest in that. I remember going to sleep that night knowing that the biggest mystery had been solved, and I knew His name, and that I could go to sleep in peace, in rest, knowing that I didn't have to worry about my life, that this was a Father looking over me, and that everything was going to be okay. The next morning I got up. I had not had, now my favorite part of is breakfast in the morning. I love having bread and butter and dipping it in hot tea and eating it. That's one of my favorite meals. I hadn't had it for 3 years. So I got up in the morning and I took bread and butter and I was like, I just knew one thing, that God is on my side and it was not going to affect my body. Now during that time, I did start gaining weight. But I decided that I'm going to be well and God's going to heal me. And I'm just going to eat and nothing is going to tell me that you can't eat. So I started eating in faith, knowing that God is going to take care of my body. And during that time, this happened in March 2001, my encounter with Jesus. Christmas that year, December, and I was just praying to Jesus. I was like, Jesus, you died on the cross for me. I should be healed. I was not looking in the mirror because I was like, I'm only going to look in the mirror when I'm healed. I did not like the way I looked. And I was just talking to Jesus, like I'm talking to you. And I said, I'm waiting for my healing, where is it? And I remember I opened the Bible and this word sprang up to me. And those words were, it's in the book of Daniel in the Bible. And they say, I've heard your prayer ever since the first understanding of my word, and I've come in answer to your prayer. Oh my God, those words just pierced me. The next day, I was lying in bed. I went to sleep for a couple of minutes in the day, which felt like a couple of hours. And when I got up, I knew something left me. I felt really tight. And usually, if I went to sleep in the middle of the day for a couple of hours, I usually get up with like a swollen face or stuff like that. I went to the mirror and I had no swollen face. Literally within those 3 days, you know when nails don't have blood in them, how pale they look, or eyes that don't have blood in them, how pale they look. In 3 days, I had blood in my eyes. I was miraculously healed within those 3 days. I just felt light, I felt free, and I knew I was healed when I did not raise. And from then on, I believed and I went my God. And it was just such a matter of and I remember during that time when I had some problem, I didn't tell my family. I was not telling my family. I would secretly read the Bible because the perception is usually, oh, she's in the someone is influencing. But imagine how weird I felt telling somebody, hey, listen, I'm talking to God, and there is someone actually talking right back at me.
This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly.
Head toward this point.
I'm out. Need ammo.
भाई तू
I'm
छोड़ना
out.
एक तो छोड़
Need ammo.
ब्रो एक के छोड़ना ना मुझे एक के छोड़ दे एक के छोड़ दे
दिखाना तो बढ़िया है मरेगा क्या
And did God do something about it? Yeah, He sent His Son. So that when you believe in Him, you don't have to go through all of these things. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be broken. He redeems you out of all of that. And I had so many questions, and they all sort of fit in when I started reading the Bible and I had an encounter with Jesus. Before I met Jesus, I knew that it was always a one-way conversation. Like I'm talking with you, and I just knew there was someone out there, like an energy or something, just a face among the clouds. And I knew there was someone there, but I didn't know who.
I'm out.
And the
Need
minute I
ammo.
encountered with Jesus, I knew that there was
I'm
a
out.
place,
Need
and
ammo.
this person started having a dialogue with. And we are meant to
I'm
have
out.
a relationship
Need
भाई
ammo.
26 है बस 26 है वो
for orphans and we would their parents up. But imagine a mankind who is not doing their parents. How sad should we be?
Marked a location.
We are not meant
Let's go.
to be in this world without knowing who made us. We are meant, it's very normal for you to have a relationship with the one that made you and then and He is your God. Just the way you have one God and He has a and you have it. There's no chaos with that. There's no uncertainty in that. It's very normal. And it's that way you have Father and He has me and He cares you and He cares everything. In fact, there are so many things in you and in your personality that come from Him because you were made in His own
Help!
But I want to know who the creator of heaven and earth is. And I want you to repeat yourself to me. And just do this. Just be on your own and just say, creator of heaven and earth, truth out there. Who are you? Repeat yourself to me. And I promise you, creator of heaven and earth, he's going to come to you. Because he loves you. So, that's my best.
Good morning, beloved. Welcome those are online audience. Welcome to beloved. If you're in Bombay and at Beloved Sons of God, and write to us and then we tell you where we gather. And for our online audience,
Recording in progress.